New York State residents desperately need real healthcare option, healthcare reform with a public option. Each year, 45,000 people die. An average of 122 people each day are dying, according to Harvard Medical School researchers, because they lack health insurance and cannot get access to the care that they need. This is egregious. This is outrageous. Let me repeat this so that this sinks in. 45,000 people are dying each day. I'm sorry, 45,000 people a year. That is 122 people are dying each day because they do not have access to healthcare reform. That's insane. This is more people than the number of people who die in car crashes every year. It's twice the number of people who are murdered every year. And so that's why we're here today. Because if you or your mom or your coworker or someone else that you love became sick and did not have health insurance, you would want someone to stand up for them too. And that is why we are here. All of them are dying tragically and needlessly. There is no memorial. Maybe one day there will be a memorial, but we're here today on 41st Street, across the street from the directly in front of the New York Times building, because we want to speak to our fellow New Yorkers and our fellow Americans about this ongoing national tragedy and the need to bring it to an end. Enough. The mark of a civilized society is measured in its ability to care for its sick. But we are not caring for our sick. We are allowing them to die. Everyone should have the right to affordable health care. And that's why we need a strong public option. A public option is the best way to save families money, lower costs, and guarantee access to quality health care for millions of Americans. No more pre-existing conditions. No more bankruptcies caused by astronomical hospital bills. No more people avoiding dealing with the lump in their neck or, God forbid, in their breast and fearing because they have no way of paying for it. Imagine that, not going to the hospital when you have a lump in your neck or in your breast because you can't pay for it. Losing your house, losing your entire life because you cannot simply pay for it. We need to level this playing field and look out for our Americans, our fellow Americans. Are we a civilized society or are we not a civilized society? Do we care for other Americans or do we just tell them to off? Insurance companies and HMO interests are spending nearly $5 million per week fighting against healthcare reform. This isn't about being between us and the teabaggers. This is about being us in the corporate interest of the insurance companies. The insurance companies are trying to block this because they want their money. That's all this is about. The insurance companies could care less about people's lives and the people that they are insuring. And we say enough. All they're trying to do is maximize profits. They deny claims. They raise their premiums. Co-pays and deductibles go up astronomically at will. They make healthcare decisions we should be making with our doctors. They deny care to people with pre-existing conditions. They pay their CEOs exorbitant salaries. During an 8-year period, CEOs took home, for insurance companies, CEOs took home $690 million, while the cost of premiums for the insured rose 4 times the wages of the people that actually pay them. We want to take a moment and thank Senators Schumer and Gillibrand for doing the right thing for New York State and supporting a public health care option and public reform. The Senate is preparing a huge vote on health care legislation, which is why we need both of our senators to continue to fight for a strong public option. Some of our nation's senators are trying to block reform. In fact, a handful of Democratic senators are threatening to join with the Republican Party to try and block the public option from even being voted on. Can we get a big boo on that? Boo! Thank you very much. They want the public option to die quietly in some back room, just like the dozens of Americans who die quietly each day. Well, that's it. We are not going to let them get away with it. We are going to honor these dead. We are going to honor these people. We are going to honor the sick. We are going to stand up and we are going to say that we think the public option deserves an up or down vote. Just like the millions of Americans, of uninsured Americans who work hard every day, they deserve access to health care that they can afford. Okay. All right, great. This past week, Move On members voted overwhelmingly to withdraw support. That means no donations, no volunteering, no help getting out the vote from any senator who chooses not to vote for the health care bill. Today, we call on Senators Schumer and Gillibrand to join us in this pledge and promise to withdraw their own support for the re-election of any senator who blocks an up or down vote on health insurance reform with a public option. Right? Yeah, we get also, do we have are the flyers here? The flyers are going around. Okay, we have on the flyers, we have all the information that's necessary. We have Gillibrand's information. We have Schumer's information. We have Obama's information. Call them. The majority of Americans believe in the public option. They believe in passing this health care bill. What is blocking us are these insurance companies. We cannot let them win, and we will not let them win. Don't let this minority of Americans' insurance companies that are not concerned with the well-being of our fellow Americans derail our efforts to make sure that true health care reform occurs. If you don't make the call, they don't know your care. Very good. Okay, so we're passing around those as well. Who's next? What can I do? Great. Yeah, so, okay, go ahead, David.
I was 47 years old, a designer builder who had a healthy diet. I had a lifelong arthritic condition and tried to take care of myself as best as I could, but there were times that I didn't go to a doctor or held off on going because I was uninsured. I learned how to live with my pain. By the time I made it to the doctor, I found out that I had cancer and that it had spread throughout my whole body. There was little that could be done to prolong my life, and I died from pancreatic cancer at the age of 47.
I was a 22-year-old graduate student from Florida. I worked 2 jobs after graduating with a double major in December 2008. I became ill 2 weeks ago, but I didn't seek care initially because I didn't have health insurance and was worried about the cost. I eventually went to an urgent care facility in Hamilton where I was given pain medication and then sent home. 2 days later, my condition suddenly worsened and my roommate drove me to a hospital where I was flown in critical condition to University Hospital in Cincinnati. I never made it back home. I died from complications of H1N1 virus.